It's Friday Not Live! Presenting part 1 of Comedians Under House Arrest. emceed by Kim Burns. With performances by Jane Condon, Ellen Karras, and Nancy Witter. And now for your host, Meg Rodriguez.
Hi, I'm Meg Rodriguez. First and foremost, we'd like to extend our deepest sympathies to those who've been adversely affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. And we'd like to extend our sincere appreciation to the frontline healthcare professionals and the essential workers who have been working tirelessly. On behalf of everyone at the Rye Art Center, we wish you and your loved ones health and safety during this difficult time. Our efforts in the meantime will be to spread positivity and work to fulfill our mission to bring the arts to all. Thank you to the many people who've already donated. Your support makes it all possible. And now it's my pleasure to welcome you to Friday Not Live. We've got a special treat for you. The wonderful, hilarious, and generous Kim Burns gathered a spectacular group of comedians for a sit-down comedy show called Comics Under House Arrest. This episode, created in partnership with our friends at fRYEday, will feature a first half of the show with performances by Jane Condon, Ellen Karras, Nancy Witter, and of course, Kim Burns. Please enjoy and consider making a donation to support our many programs.
I hope we have an audience. I'm pretty sure there's tons of people listening to this, but anyway, so welcome to Comics Under House Arrest. This is going to be, it's a great show. I'm telling you, it's a great show coming up for so many reasons, but one of the biggest reasons is, of course, the Rye Art Center, that so many of us love the place. And I know three great ladies who were in the show last November, and we're going to be seeing them right up front with this wonderful show we have with a total of 9 comics. I'm looking forward to it. I thank everybody for joining us tonight. I thought, it's really tough for people to even attend this, because when you think about comedy, is it a stretch? It's not a stretch. This is what we need to be doing right now. And on that note, I'm feeling a little bit of pressure because it's bad timing, but the month of May is Mental Health Month. I mean, it's like, what a worse month to have it in. I mean, don't be giving me a test because I'm failing whatever that is. But no, it's really bad. And I mean, I feel like we're all living in like this virtual reality, and then we got to do the Zoom stuff, and it's sort of driving it home. One of the hardest things about living in Rye and with the lockdown is that it's so much more difficult to be super judgmental about other people because you don't see them. I'm missing that hugely. I just, sort of sit home and think bad stuff about other people instead of actually seeing them. But, and then you have people calling you or texting you and saying, how's the family? And, I have to honestly say, I don't know. I haven't talked to those people in weeks. But it's tough, It's like, I don't, do I want to tell anybody how my family's really doing? Again, it goes back to that mental health thing where you don't want to keep revisiting every day. It's kind of like reading your horoscope. I don't know if you started reading your horoscope when this whole started, but every day I open the paper and it says, Aquarian, today you'll do nothing. It's been hard. No, it's been really, it's been tough. But the toughest thing I have to admit, and I feel like I'm probably the only sucker really going through the homeschooling thing. I mean, I used to make jokes about homeschooling where, drop off was better than sex. And then it's almost like it came back to bite me. Like, this is so personal to me. Like, just because I made the jokes that this had to happen. And what I really am trying to figure out is, the people who were real homeschoolers and they were actual homeschoolers. It's like, what are they being smug about now? It's like your kid, how special is your kid? Like, anyway, and with homeschooling, it's sort of like, you know, I always thought those people were nuts, but after homeschooling, now I know why. So I'm stop blaming them. I'm gonna stop blaming them. But no, it's true. It's sort of like, how can you, you know, feel special anymore? Everybody's in the same boat. I mean, it's sort of like, you know, a topless waitress on a nude beach. Who cares? Like, who are you? So, but we have, you know, we have different takes on what's going on. I, for one, don't understand why they couldn't figure out a way to open the schools, even if it was like half day with masks. I mean, if you can open the brothels in Nevada, you can open your school half day, although they'd be wearing very different masks at the brothels. I mean, it's going to be a specialized mask. Think about it. So I'm thinking, okay, so we got to reach out to the Chinese again to get the special mask, you know, that the gals and the clients can wear at the brothel. And they start thinking about ordering all this stuff from China. And it's sort of like asking the guy who jumped you for a condom. It's just insulting and awkward. But anyway, so things are tough here. I'm trying to be optimistic. You know, like Sunday is a special day. That would be House Slave Day, the celebration of house slaves everywhere. I'm one of those. And, you know, it's funny because I'm a little house slave. I'm a little correctional officer going on. And my kids are starting to talk like they're in juvie because I'm homeschooling them. So the other day, one of them comes up to me, he's like, hey, how about Dad saying something to you like, you be looking like a snack? I'm like, what? And I said, well, I probably look like a snack because all I do is snack. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that's what he meant. Anyway, no, there's too much food. People are having too much food and make meat all the time. I got to feed all these boys. And so we didn't have corona, but we got mad cow disease. Not that I would know what it is because we're all nuts here. So I know that's like a symptom. The way we behave, somebody's got mad cow. But no, so I was at Stop and Shop again the other day, and I was going out into the parking lot, and you know, I got stopped by an officer, and I'm like, what? And he said, you know, what are you doing with the party-sized chips? And you know, I'm like, believe me, you've been in my house. There's no party going on. And then you sort of hope to piss the guy off just enough that he follows you. Just follow you home so you can get some new blood. I mean, anybody new to talk to. I don't care who it is. Anyway, that's been hard. I think that you know, I'm a little nostalgic for things that people used to do. So, you know, things change. One of the things that's changing are phrases like "Don't try this at home." Really? Why not? Gotcha. Or outsiders. I mean, people used to think of outsiders as people that were a little strange, and now it's just like people who are outside. There's a differentiation. There really is. And sad things that people no longer support, like group sex. It's a little frowned upon. It's a little frowned upon. But anyway, you know, we're going to get back to normal. Dr. Fauci said that you actually can, if you're in the market, can go on Tinder or Grindr or one of those and start looking for a mate. And but there were some exceptions, like when you go online, you have to do things like you're going to have to show the results of having your temperature taken. But the difference with those sites is that it has to be a rectal thermometer. Come on, sites. What do I know? What do I know? Oh my God. Okay, wait, it's not over yet. So I just have to say that this morning, this is a true story. I mean, you think I'm making stuff up because of the, you know, mental health problem and all that, but at like 6 in the morning, my crazy dog is running around the house. And, you know, I get up early, but 6 is a little early. So I come down to the dining room and he's got a squirrel in his mouth. I mean, a squirrel. And, you know, you don't know if it's dead, so you're trying to push the dog out the door with the squirrel in the mouth before he drops the squirrel because you're praying that, you know, the squirrel's dead, but you're not really sure. Anyway, so I don't know what had happened. I don't know where it came from, but he chomped on it enough that the guy died of fright. And I started thinking, you know what really happened here? What really happened here is that the Mother Nature, the animals are saying, you're not coming out, we're coming in. We're coming in, you guys gotta, what's going on? It's like you got birds in your, bedroom, you got deer in your den, I got a squirrel in my, anyway. So that's it.
Tim, you may want to hang on to that squirrel. You may want to hang on to that. There's a meat shortage. Did you hear?
There you go. See, there's always an upside. No, all I could do is look at the tail and think, it could make a nice hat. And that did cross my mind. But anyway, so enough about me. We have a great show coming up. I would love to introduce our first comic, Jane Condon, who not only is a fabulous friend, is a supporter of the Rye Art Center, Ladies Comedy Night. Jane has been on The View. She's Last Comic Standing. She's got a new podcast. Jane?
Yep. Called Funny Over 50. Yep.
Funny Over 50, amongst your many, many, many accomplishments. Please welcome Jane Condon.
Oh, thank you. Yay. And give it up for Kim and the squirrel. So my name is Jane Condon, if you like me. If you don't like me, my name is Kim Burns. I live over in Greenwich, but I'm still a nice person. And I have been married for a long time. So let me say this about same-sex marriage. Honestly, what's the problem? My husband and I have had the same sex for 41 years.
That's good.
And we have 2 boys. Otherwise, everything's fine. When they were little, I sent them to summer camp. I never went to camp. When I was a kid, my parents said, here's a bike, good luck, see you in September. When I was born, my father wanted a boy, my mother wanted a young lady, and my 2 sisters didn't want me. They gave me a t-shirt that said organ donor on it. And I did a show for a group of young moms, and they were so sweet and so stupid, very concerned about potty training. I told them, look, by the time your kids get to college, they will be potty trained. I remember when my own boys were 5 and 8, they go into the bathroom and do their business and then race in the kitchen and say, Mom, you gotta see it. And I go into the bathroom and say, oh yeah, you are awesome. It is so big. Now, at some point you gotta shut this down. So one day I go into the bathroom, I do my business, I come into the kitchen, I'm there, guys, you gotta see it. And that was the end of that. I love my son's first high school girlfriend. What a doll. She comes over. She fills the house with estrogen. All of a sudden, everybody's nice to me. They say, please, and thank you. And everybody wears underpants. And then one day she dumps my son. So I call her up and I'm there, look, can we still see each other? My older boy graduated from college where he majored in religion. Shoot me now. So the job offers are just pouring in. After college, he moved back in because I guess once you feed them, they keep coming back. Very interested in money now that he doesn't have any. He said, Mom, how much do you make? How much does Dad make? What's the house worth? And I'm thinking, is he planning to kill us? See, I always thought I'd have girls. They were supposed to be Kate and Elizabeth. Then God gives me these people. And it's so much I don't understand about boys. Like, why would anyone want to blow their nose into a boarding pass? Why? So what I want you to know about me is the first third of my life was all about my crazy family. We had some drinking problems. I mean, nobody was an alcoholic. We just had drinking problems. And I say that because I've been the designated driver since I was 11. The second third of my life was all about my semi-normal family, my husband and the boys. And the last third, it's all about me. It's my turn. And that is why I'm here tonight. This is where I want to be. And I want you all to know, like everyone here, I love the Rye Art Center. I love them madly, deeply. You guys have the best audiences. I'll say that. And if you love the Rye audience, if you'd throw them a few dollars, please. You know, they have lectures, they have lessons, they have comedy, and I think of them too as like a community center. And God knows we need community right now. And as you know, it's a crazy time. And I keep thinking back to January. Remember in January when Corona was still a beer?
Yeah.
And then we had February, and you hear about Wuhan, and you hear about the virus. And then my niece texted me to say, Aunt Jane, the sweetener in Diet Coke, it's from China. Well, that pandemic just got a whole lot more personal. Okay. And don't judge me about the Diet Coke. This has been a very long lockdown. Okay. And then we moved to March, and the NBA shut down. I had a big show 2 days later at a theater. Didn't happen. The next week, it was like a tsunami. All my spring shows, all my summer shows, all gone, just gone, snap like that. And that's about the time that the hoarding started. Do you remember that? Which, immediately caught my interest. But, like the toilet paper. And I'm thinking, I must go to Costco. But I didn't judge the people who hoarded. I did not judge them, because I still have toilet paper left over from 9/11. And two, but don't tell anybody. Okay. So, and paper towels. Okay. But anyway, and I was worried about my kids. I have one boy in LA and one is in New York. And like a lot of the parents out in the suburbs, we said, come home, come back. And most of the kids did not, which leads me to believe that most kids would rather die than go home to live with their parents. And I was putting together a Zoom meeting, and I read in a business magazine that you can hire a llama for $100 and just liven up the Zoom meeting. I think this will be hysterical. Okay, so I go online, and it's a little farm in California, and I checked the calendar for the llama. This was early April. The llama was fully booked. The comedians are out of work. The llama is fully booked. Okay, if that llama gets the $1,200 check, I'm going to be a little upset. Okay, but if you have any extra money, please send it to the Rye Art Center. I love them madly, deeply. And now I give you back to my friend Kim Burns.
Thank you, Jane. Jane, for your birthday, I'm getting you a llama suit.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I mean, just in case. This is all going to end soon. Thank you, Jane Condon, for everything you always do for all of us. You're so generous. Ellen Karas. Ellen, you were also performing with Jane at the Rye Art Center last November when life was normal. Life was desirable. People weren't worried about whether they could go out. It's just crazy. But you're still doing your podcast, Pierre's Corner Comedy. And you're the Greek goddess of comedy all over New York. Yeah. Those Greeks, I bet they still get together behind people's backs, right? Is that right?
Hey, listen, it was Greek Easter a few weeks ago. We had to roast the lamb. That's what we do. So,
I'm saying.
Break a few rules. What are you going to do? Find me? I mean, seriously.
Right. Let's be over that. We're way over that. You've also been in the marvelous Ms. Maison. Yes. Right?
Yeah. Except I'm getting so fat that I'm probably not gonna be able to do it because I won't be able to fit into the costume. So, but fine. It's fine.
They have a wide range. Anyway, everybody, welcome Ellen Karas.
Thank you. Oh my God, it's so happy to be in my chair that I usually am in all day long, but at least talking to people other than the guy I live with. I forgot even what his name is. He's listen, after the second week, we totally ran out of things to talk about. I mean, and we really tried to be creative. I'm talking about my husband of almost 11 years. We did everything. We went through each other's 8th grade autograph book, yearbook. We read everything. We went through all of our memories. Our wedding, well, I never put together the wedding album, so they're just like loose pictures all over the place. We're done. We got nothing. We got nothing. But I do want to tell you, I live on the Upper East Side, and I have to be honest. When this first, like mid-March, when it was like, oh my gosh, this is really serious. The women up here, because they're very into health and wellness, especially the ones that I work out with, they were really excited because they figured, I'm going to lose weight. you know? So they were like totally down with all this. And then they found out, well, you know, you could potentially go on a respirator. And then they were like, that's amazing because then I won't have to get lipo for the summer. So, I mean, I've never seen a group more excited about a pandemic in my life. I know we're doing a lot of Zooming. Actually, the workouts now are Zoom, which it's the 20-year-old instructors don't understand that the music is loud and we can't, you know, some of us can't hear anymore, so we can't hear what they're trying to say. But I'm a little worried because I think with all this Zooming, everything is Zoom, right? Everything, family, friends, business. When we're done with this, which who knows when that's going to be, we're going to just talk on delay and everything is just going to look blurry. That's it. That's going to be like the constant state. It's going to be ingrained in our head. But I have to say, I've become a bit of a Zoom snob. A Zoom snob is when you're pissed when people haven't turned off their mics and they should, you know, it's like, ugh. You know, you do the eye roll and everything like that. That's a Zoom snob. All right, we'll see how that joke works with a live audience. Okay, so then, oh, what's with the killer hornets? What the hell's going on? What is now this? What is going on in China? Use some Raid for God's sakes. Windex. I don't know, something. Do so. I told you people make everything. I was really. I'm pissed. Or this is enough already. Enough. No, you know what? I'm pissed at them, and I'm pissed at not the people, but like who's ever doing this, who's ever responsible. I don't care what they are, but who's ever responsible. Like, just stop it. Get a job. Something. I am pissed at the. I'm not into food people. Does anybody know that? I mean, again, everything's social media, you know, but everything like I'm not in, like they don't really binge being home. They're not that really, you know, they forget to eat, you know, they forget to eat people. I hate those people. I hope the killer hornet stings them. Okay. We gotta really, that's thinning the herd because I'm done with that because I'm a big binge eater and I want everybody to feel how disgusted I feel most of the time. I did try vegan. I figured, listen, great opportunity, right? You're home, you can contain your menus and your meals. And I went vegan for about 4 weeks. And that was, but I broke down and I ordered a bat from the Chinese restaurant. So I ordered a bat, wonton bats, and it was delicious. Don't knock it till you try it. I haven't got anything accomplished. I haven't learned a language. I haven't, you know, learned an instrument. And it's been 7 weeks now with the lockdown. My bedroom is actually dustier than we started. And I still have not opened up my food processor, which was a wedding gift. So there you go. You know, at least I'm a woman of principle. At least I'm consistent with my failure. And that's where I'm going to put that on my accounting resume because that's the job I'm going to have to get after this whole thing is done. But when this quarantine thing happened, I mean, my husband, he was not really scared of the virus. He was scared of being locked in with me because he knows with the virus, he'll recover. This is permanent damage. He will never, he will never be the same. And I have to tell you, last weekend, I said to him, all right, let's do something. The weekend is coming. Let's make it feel like a weekend so we can feel some sense of being human and you know, just daily life as it is, life as we used to know it. So I said to him that Friday afternoon, I said, listen, you got two choices. Either we make whoopee or we give each other our first tattoos. So needless to say, I have a tattoo of Cyprus on my left butt cheek because my family is from there. So if anybody wants to know where my maternal grandparents came, I'll show it to the ladies. The guys, they're not going to want to see it. I did do a little bit of cleaning, though. I did a little bit of cleaning. I threw out my VCR rewinder, my Walkman, and my Rolodex. Don't judge me. So anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up. I also let me tell you that show we did at the Rye Arts Center. First of all, being with Kim and Nancy and Jane, who I love, that room full of women with some men sprinkled around. It was fine. It was great. It was great. I love Rye. I love Westchester. I've got relatives there, and I am so supportive of everything that you do, and I think it's important. And listen, we'll be back. We'll get through this. I mean, I don't know about comedy, but everybody else will ultimately be back. I don't know about me. Maybe I'll just speak about me. I'm not quite sure what I'll be doing, but definitely support the Rye Arts Center. And I just want to tell you that my big takeaway from this whole Corona pandemic is that cauliflower rice tastes like old socks. Don't have it. Don't even try it. It's disgusting. My name's Ellen Karras. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Greek Chick Comic. Thank you.
Hey, Ellen Karras. You got to tell your friends on the Upper East Side that the only real good thing to do for the catastrophe is to get deserted on a desert island, because thin, tan. You know what I'm saying? And eventually somebody will rescue you sooner than this thing's ending. I'm just saying, it's a better route to go. And you get to be alone. All right, so next up, Nancy Witter. We have so much to say about Nancy, who is Mrs. New York. I mean, you won the Mrs. New York contest. You may have to talk about that. And
that's the key word. Senior.
Not
That's
Miss
so
New
useful.
York.
I'm taking my mind around it. And then I see you on commercials. You're all over the place. I know everything's been a little bit stalled, but you are doing jokes every day on Facebook, and we thank you for that. Everybody, welcome Nancy Witter.
Woo! Everybody, isn't this so fun? So I learned a few things during the pandemic. One is that I used to say I would be thinner if only I had time. So my house would be cleaner if only I had some time. No. So my house is a mess. I gained about 5 pounds. My husband Jack lost 20 because he can't go to a bar, so he lost 20 pounds. I gained 10. I've learned a few things. I come from a very large family. We did a Zoom meeting. So speaking of Zoom, we have this, as I said earlier, my sister, Detta, who is very technically challenged. She's like, I got this though. And then we start having the thing and we go, so how are you doing? And we get, the Detta, the bottom, the thing at the bottom, the thing. She was doing that. My brother Stephen was like this the whole time. Can you see me? Can you see me? Then Ellen, just like you said, through the whole thing, all you could hear was like, but Faith, where's the button? I can't find the button. Is it on the left? So that's why I got a new glass, and can't be big enough. But I have been doing, first of all, I want to say I don't have a podcast. The other thing I want to say is that while I have been home, I've been doing more cooking than usual. And I tried to do some cleaning. So my daughter moved out a couple of months ago, years ago, then she moved back out again. So I was cleaning her room because I was going to paint it, which, by the way, I haven't done yet. I have the paint. I just don't have the ambition. So I go into her drawers. I'm trying to clean some stuff out, and I found some gummy bears. So I said, great, anything with sugar. So I eat like 4 or 5 of them because I'm a pig. About an hour later, I go, I'm starving. Starving. I go in the kitchen and I decide to make a Greek salad. It's 11:30 at night. Starving. And I finally realized that I had eaten edibles, these pot edibles that I thought was gummy bear. Yeah, but I ate like 5 of them. So I go into my spice cabinet and I take out basil. And all of a sudden I go, they should make perfume made of basil. It smells so good. And I say to my husband, Jack, who's a retired probation officer. I'm like, Jack, smell the bagel, smell it. And he's like, stop, I got it. And then I had the oregano, open up the oregano to put on the salad. And all of a sudden it smelled so aggressive. I'm like, all of a sudden I go, oregano is like the Robert De Niro of spices. You know, and it's like, hey, I'm oregano, I got not anything. Then I go into my refrigerator and I look at the asparagus, and all the vegetables were like talking to me. Like the asparagus, I look at it and I go, why is it so limp? Why are you limp? And it was like farm to table. Don't have us sitting around here. I will wilt on you, because I always buy vegetables. I just don't eat them. I buy them. Broccoli, I can have broccoli for a month. And then I want to return it to the store. I'm like, look, it's all white. It looks like it's got a disease. They're like, yeah, because it's been in your refrigerator for a month. And then Jack and I have been married 13 years. We've been humming along, doing great, doing great. When we have, as Judge Judy would call it, a kerfuffle, it is of the atomic variety. So we're getting along for four or 5 weeks. Honey, can I get you anything? Can I make you something? Great. Oh, let's sit down and watch TV. This is real. Good night. I love you. It's like that. Then I go to the food store. I come home, and this has been a pet peeve of mine with him forever. He never has the ringer on his phone on. He doesn't like the sound of the phone ringing. So if I need something, if I need to get him, I just have to cross my fingers and hope maybe he's looking at the phone at the exact time I need him. So I'm in the car, I go grocery shopping. I want him to come out and help me bring them in. But if the phone's ringing and there's no answer, and I know he doesn't have the ringer on. So I come in, and I don't even know who I am. But all of a sudden I'm like, why didn't you have your ringer on? And he goes, what? I go, you didn't have the ringer on. And he goes, I go, I'm out there risking my life at the food store. So he goes into his bedroom. I make the bologna sandwich that I went to the store for. I come back, I open up the door, and I go, Jack, I'm sorry. I realized I overreacted. Now, what I just did for you was the light version. I didn't have me throwing the phone, throwing the grocery bag all over the living. I cut that part out. So I said, I'm sorry, I may have overreacted a little bit. And then he looks at me and goes, I wouldn't eat that bologna sandwich if it were the last morsel of food on the last day of my life. I am never eating anything you make again. And then I said to him, you know, we've been humming along pretty good for now. And right around now, it looks like we are in one solid fight going to be on the new edition of Dateline. So, because we watch Dateline and we keep thinking of ways that you shouldn't kill your wife or your husband because you'll get caught. So we are now trying to look at it in a different way and see how you can get away with it without getting caught. So that's my queening little thing here. And I do a joke of the day every day on Facebook and Instagram. Really just a reason for me to take a shower. But during this time, I was going to do one joke a day when I thought it was going to be 2 weeks.
Right.
I could do a joke a day. Now I'm like, what, are you kidding me? So I found this new joke. So I always end my set with a joke. This is a new one. And then I just want to say something about the Rye Arts Center, which I miss being there. The people are great. The Arts Center is fantastic. Give it every dime. I don't even have a dime, but I would give them a dime. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. So everyone contribute. And I'll just leave you with this joke. It's a new one I found. A couple goes to a marriage counselor, and the marriage counselor says to the wife, what are the problems you seem to be having in your marriage? And she said, well, my husband is not very communicative. We have absolutely no real intimacy. And I miss affection, love and affection and physical attention. So the therapist gets up, gets the wife, puts her in a love lock, makes out with her, gives her a head-on kiss. The husband looks, and when the therapist gets done, he looks at the husband and said, that's what your wife needs 3 times a week. So the husband said to the therapist, Well, I can drop her off on Mondays and Wednesdays, but Fridays I go fishing. So that's my joke of the day. Thank you for having me and contribute often and largely to the Rye Art Center. And thank you, Kim and Ellen and Janie. It's good to see you. The little reunion from November and all the beautiful faces here today.
Yay.
Thank you, Nancy Witter. We love Nancy. We love Nancy. We love the Rye Art Center. Here's what you guys are all going to be broadcast on this spectacular show next Friday. It's going out to 6,000 people. Now, before we move on, a few of you are familiar with a song that I do. I'm going to sing it. This is especially for Mother's Day, also known as House Slave Day at my house. And seeing how Bill Withers died during the pandemic, not of corona, you know how it's sort of like with complications from corona, with like, but not him. Anyway, so this is Ain't No House Slave by Kim Burns. Ain't no clean sheets when she's gone.
Woo.
Dirty laundry every day. Ain't no cooking when she's gone, and the house is just a hole. Anytime she slips away, I wonder this time where she's hiding. In the closet or the garage, we will track her tired ass and find her face inside a glass. How long the vodka gonna last? Well, I know. Better leave poor mom alone. There ain't no house slave when she's gone.
Woo! Didn't know you could sing. What a great voice.
That's our show. Thank you so much for watching. Next week, we'll share more community performances with you. And on Friday, May 29th, we'll have part 2 of Comics Under House Arrest. If you can, please make a donation. Your support will help us provide scholarships, free classes, and so much more. Thank you so much to Kim Burns, Jane Condon, Ellen Karras, Nancy Witter, and of course, Rye TV. Thank you to our board, co-chairs, and committee for your generosity and commitment. Thank you to my colleagues on the staff at the Rye Art Center for working to put this together. And thank you to all of our donors and members who make our work possible. Your support means so much to us. Please join us again soon for the next episode of Friday Not Live.